time to make it right. Meet me down at Lakeside after twilight. Let's multiply times two. A one-night stand is bad, but twice as cool.
And we're live. Welcome to Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico. I'm your host, Steve Ricardo. We're back in Union Square, Somerville, Mass. at the New Alliance Music and Art Complex with Dorchester's own Herb Morsiglio.
Ow!
On the engineering board. Thanks for doing that. This week we have a very special show with a very, I actually wrote very 3 times, special guest, one of my favorite people on the planet, who I have in the past not only referred to as Satan's daughter, but also the Queen of Metal, among other things. All nice, of course. She is the one and only Alyson Hell, singer of Mercury Plague, and the former singer of the very controversial band Dead Girls Don't Say No. And one of my favorite metalheads on the whole planet. But before we get to Allison, I just want to believe me, I'm on the edge of my chair for this interview. So before we do that, though, I want to thank all our patrons, the people that support this podcast on Patreon page, on our Patreon page, patreon.com/Twisted Rico, Patreon, where you can join the Cool Kids Club for only $1 a month. So thank you, Dave, Maria, Lee, Ellie, Matt, Chad, Kim, Andy, Sue, and our newest patron, Chris in Los Angeles. Your support is greatly appreciated. All right, it's time to get heavy. Please welcome to the Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico podcast, Alyson Hell.
Good morning.
Oh, morning. See, people don't probably realize that we record in the morning, but we do. So before I jump into things, how do you like that I'm using a Charm song for the opening intro?
Oh, that made me so happy. I missed them.
We share a real love for that band, which we will definitely get into. So how's it going? I mean, I know you drove down here from New Hampshire, and I drove down here to Somerville from Worcester, and I listened to Draconian all the way here. What did you listen to?
I also listened to a Swedish doom metal band. They are called Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, I don't know them.
You
I'll
will
have to
love
check them out.
Check them out.
They don't do the dual female doom lyric singing, do they?
They do not. They do strictly male clean vocals, but they are amazing.
Clean vocals?
Yeah.
So Draconian's dirty vocals is what you're saying.
The male growls. The female is clean.
Melodic. She's very melodic.
Yeah,
I
she's
love
great.
her. Okay, wait. Let me just. I gotta see. I can't see when I take my glasses off. So you know what I'm saying. Before we talk metal, I want to share a couple of non-metal stories with you. And Allison, please chime in. Okay, these have nothing to do with music. Okay, I was at the intersection of Chase Ave and Main Street in Webster, Mass. Unless you're from that area, you won't know it. I had been working for a car service, driving people to their medical appointments and all that. The company closed Friday, and I'll get into that a little bit. While I'm sitting at the intersection, this older man is crossing the crosswalk. And right when he gets to the middle, this young girl comes barreling around the corner. Bam! The guy's like airborne. Okay? And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm right there. I'm the witness. I jump out of my car. She gets out of the car. She's like, I'm sorry. She has her cell phone in her hand, okay? She was probably like 17 or 18 years old. So I just said to her, how could you not see him? And then the guy's trying to get up, and I'm trying to help him up. And all of a sudden, within a minute, like 6 cruisers showed up and an ambulance. And the guy was able to get up and go in the ambulance. But I learned a great lesson from this. Because when I posted about it on Facebook, everyone was like, did she get arrested? Blah, blah, is she going to get in trouble for this? And I realized that I would have reacted the same way if I didn't see it. I felt bad for the girl. She made a horrible mistake, and she probably was on her cell phone, and the cops kept asking me, was she on her cell phone? And I was like, I couldn't tell because I was watching the guy, but she did have it in her hand. I think she probably was. And I felt really bad for her because she was obviously rattled. She was really young, probably not even 18, and that was crazy. I witnessed that the other day. Have you ever witnessed anything like that? Somebody getting run over like that?
No, not directly. I have noticed a few near results to that. I commute to Massachusetts every day, and I've noticed overall a general overall disregard for traffic rules overall. We don't stop at stop signs anymore. Red lights mean absolutely nothing. They just keep going, and there are no consequences for these actions. So maybe this was an appropriate consequence for her action, and she'll pay better attention in the future.
Yeah, she's going to have to learn a lesson from this because how can you possibly? But that really shook me up. It took me like 3 days to like get that out of my system because I saw the guy go airborne and I was like, the other story I was going to tell was I'd been working at the car service company, and I was at Worcester State College before that, and my plan was I wasn't going to go back to Worcester State College. On Monday, I was supposed to go and return my stupid uniforms. I can't.
You have a uniform?
Oh,
What color is it?
it's like it's like a chef outfit, with a funny hat, like a sushi hat, and it's like.
Wait, is it black and white? What do you
Yes,
mean?
it's black and white.
And you have a hat?
It's demoralizing. It's demoralizing, but this is what you have to do to survive in this day and age. So I was going to go in on Monday and I was going to say, I'm not coming back for another semester, even though I like the kids and everything. But I couldn't make it down there on Monday because I was really busy driving. Tuesday morning, I get to the driving place. There's a letter from the owner. We're ceasing operations on Friday. This company's been around for like years, and they suddenly closed. And everyone knew that they had talked me into staying there. And so they were like, oh, Steve, we really feel really bad for you. We talked you into staying, and now the company's closed. And I said, you know what? I never told Worcester State that I was leaving.
So you're all set.
So if anyone from Worcester State's listening, please don't tell the supervisor about this. But I will be there making you quesadillas, wraps, and sandwiches, all you lovely college kids, on Monday.
In your chef hat.
Yeah,
That's
in my, I always said I would never wear a uniform because I worked for labels and managed bands my whole life. The only other job I had was when I worked at Harvard. While I was managing bands,
Yeah.
I worked at Harvard part-time, but it was good money. That's why I did it. So those are two crazy stories that I just felt like bringing up, and I don't usually do that. But so now we're going to get into topics for Allison, which we've got some good ones here, Allison, because Allison and I are very good friends. So the first one is Alyson Hell. Anything to do with Annihilator by any chance?
Oh, you worked for Roadrunner. You remember Annihilator.
I just want you to talk about Annihilator because that's where you got your name, right?
Yes, of course it is.
Holly Lane, who I worked with, who I've shared stories with you about, we'll talk about Pete Steele, don't worry. She loved Annihilator. She turned me on to that band when they only had like a demo and stuff. And then I met you years later. And you're Alyson Hell. If anyone out there listening doesn't know what we're talking about, the band Annihilator, it was a one-man band, essentially, right?
Well, Jeff Waters founded it, and he still is behind it.
Didn't he do all the instruments and everything when they first started?
No, he did on later albums. But...
Okay, but he was the one that had this, he came up with Alyson Hell.
Yes.
And you used the name, and I'm all good with that. Next topic, we're just going to jump from topic to topic. How we met, which is pretty cool because you're a total metalhead, right?
Yes.
And I met you. I didn't meet you, but we were in the same room when the Charms opened for Kay Hanley from Letters to Cleo at the Paradise.
Yes.
And we might have seen each other that day, but you're saying, I thought I met you that day, but you're telling me we met at the Kirkland
We
Cafe.
met at the Kirkland later on at an Ellie and Joe solo show.
Oh, they did an acoustic show.
Yes, they did.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's where we met.
Was it one of those Twisted Thursday shows where I had like 6 different acoustic performers on?
Oh, that's a good question.
This would be around 2002 or 3 we're talking about. If you had 2 fingers up.
2002.
2002. And so we ended up, you came to every Charm show. You actually became a merch person for a while. You were a guitar tech for Joe.
Videographer.
We'll talk about that one.
Yeah.
That was fun. So that's how we met, and we became friends
Yes.
right away because you always like told you before, I was talking to Chili Kurtz from KHC on the phone last night, and I said, Allison's coming in. She'll have jeans and a rock T-shirt on. And she pulled out a vintage.
Vintage one.
Show
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
I worked on Doomsday for the Deceiver.
Oh my God.
You're gonna die when I tell you this, but I'm pretty sure the catalog number was 72032.
He remembers the catalog number.
I do remember some of the Metal Blade ones because I was doing marketing and sales at Enigma when we had the Metal Blade deal, and we sold a buttload of like Metal Blade stuff. All the early Slayer titles, Flotsam, DRI, Fates. We'll talk about Fates Warning. I know you love Fates Warning. Herb, you digging this metal conversation? Herb's like, yeah, okay, right? Someone got run over and blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God.
Okay, this next story is one of my favorites ever. We were at a charm show in New York City. And this is when the band did a lot of one-offs. By a one-off, I mean they would go down there, play a show, come home. This is before they toured. They did a bunch of national tours. This is before that. And occasionally, if there was no hotel and nowhere to sleep, we'd drive back. Well, on this specific occasion, Allison came down and, can I get a ride? She's like, yeah. So we drive back together. So I'm like in the front seat and I'm like, starting to doze off. And then I hear this song playing. And they're talking about stem cell research and all this stuff. And I'm like, what is this? I just immediately woke up. She had Dream Theater. I always forget the name of the song.
Oh, The Great Debate.
The Great Debate. It's like 16 minutes long. Did the drummer write that?
I want to say the drummer and the guitar player wrote that together.
The drummer being, of course, I can't remember the drummer's name.
Mike Portnoy at the time.
Excuse me. The great Mike Portnoy.
Portnoy.
Mangini ended up replacing him, right?
Mike Mangini, yep. Somerville guy.
Who teaches at Berkeley School.
Not anymore.
Why not?
He's in Dream Theater now.
Oh.
He had to give up his tenured professor position.
Did Prince Frederick from the Charms have him as a teacher when he went to Berkeley?
Yeah,
I think
he did, and or Rod Morgenstein.
Oh yeah, he was in the license plate. Okay, we're gonna talk about that too. There's so many good things to talk about. I actually have to put my. But the funny thing about the Dream Theater story is, my old friend Billy Polisi put out Industrial Metal magazine. I was a writer for him while I was working for labels. He loved Dream Theater. They tried to get me into Dream Theater forever, and I was like, boring, and I couldn't get into it. But after I heard that, I went and revisited the Dream Theater catalog, and that song "Wither" is like one of my favorite songs by Dream Theater. I became a prog metal dude.
John Petrucci wrote
because
that.
of you.
Because of me
Because
in the car.
of you. Playing Dream Theater on the drive home from New York City.
To try and stay awake.
5-hour drive.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing a good job of navigating. I was falling asleep.
You were sleeping. And
But
then
when I heard that song, though, did I wake up and go...
You sat right up in your seat.
It was just...
Oh my God!
It was a song about stem cell research. At the time, I was working as a administrative assistant at Harvard while I was managing bands. And I went to Professor Doug Melton, who was the stem cell research guy at Harvard. And I gave him the lyrics to the song. And he was like, this is absolutely fascinating. I'm like, this is a heavy metal band. He's like, it's fascinating. And he loved it. He checked out the lyrics. I think he probably went and listened. I don't know for sure. You think he might, but he was a Harvard professor.
He didn't.
He did. Allison knows. Okay, I'm going to try and do this without putting my glasses on, but
Why?
Next topic. Well,
Because you're vain.
I usually... I want to wear my shades. Can I wear my shades? How's that? Cool? Okay. We're going to get a screenshot of this, Herb, for the YouTube page, okay? We're real silly today. Like this because Allison's here. That's why. Okay, ready? Next topic. Ready? This will take people by surprise because if you're in a band called Dead Girls Don't Say No, how in the world can you be a Winger fan?
What do you mean, how in the world?
You have a Winger license plate.
I do. He cracked up when he saw it in the parking lot, lost his shit.
I didn't know about the Winger license. Okay, I won't wear this. I didn't know about the Winger license plate.
Should I have informed you?
But I know you should have. But I know that you and Kip Winger, buddies.
We sang together twice.
Wow. So how did you meet Kip Winger?
I met him actually at a Winger show in, 2014 in Portland, Maine. I just went to see
Was
Winger.
that Gino's or one of those rock clubs up there?
Gosh, what was it?
It doesn't matter.
It's gonna come to me later.
I have
when I'm in
serious
the
memory
bathroom.
loss if you didn't notice. I can't
Because you're an
remember.
older person, I know. You told me. You're old now. You said on the phone. Don't look confused. You said it.
Yeah, I just turned 32. I mean, I'm not that old.
Oh my God. You lie on the air. Holy shit.
Yeah, I do. Not a lot, though. I've tried not to get sued by anybody, which, might, well, we won't talk about that. But, so you became a fan, and then how did you end up singing with Kip Winger? And where was it?
Where did we sing?
Yeah.
The first time it was at 1150 Bar and Grill in Cranston, Rhode Island. He was there doing an acoustic
Lovely
solo
city.
show. Cranston.
Now I'm going to get sued by the mayor of Cranston. Beautiful city.
I mean, I'm sure it used to be when, the mob ran the area, but
Buddy Cianci, the mayor of Providence, did he have a pull over there in Cranston too?
oh, I don't know. I was just passing through.
So what song did you sing with him?
Miles Away.
Miles Away. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I know what that song sounds like. Was it a hit?
Yeah, that was a
Of-
single from their second album.
The song about the girl being 17, what song was that?
17.
I'm sorry, Kip. I apologize. Morgenstein was his drummer for a while, wasn't he?
He still is.
Rod Morgenstein is still in Winger.
Yes, he never left.
Wow. How can you be a fan of like the real heavy bands and also a fan of Winger? You have no boundaries?
I have no boundaries. Have you? Everyone judges Winger by 17, right? That video where they've got all the big hair and the silly lyrics about being 17, but have you really listened to Kip Winger's compositions?
Pretty heavy, Herb. Yeah, I guess I have. I was gonna say no, but I've heard Winger because they're a big band. I mean, they're not like a huge band, but they were very popular for some time. What, 80s?
They went big in 1988 with their first
88.
single, Madeleine, their first album produced by
I can
Hill.
tell I've insulted you and Kip Winger, so I apologize for that.
I'm not insulted.
I respect the fact that you're a Kip Winger fan, but do you think Kip Winger would hang out with the guy that we're going to talk about next, Peter Steele?
Would he hang out with Peter Steele? Yeah, why not?
Another one of your friends? Well,
Not
was.
really. He knew who I was because I was at every single damn type
The
of negative
photos
show.
of you and Peter Steele.
Right. He has to lift me up so I can even be in the photo.
On a previous episode, I told the story about how I met.
The guts!
I'll do the reindeer brains, but the first time I met him, when Holly and I went backstage, he's an intimidating dude, like 6'7".
6'7".
He looked me right in the eye and he goes, "If you fuck my record up, I'll kill you." And I'll never forget that. And I didn't know if he was joking or not, but no one in the room was laughing, so I, okay.
That sounds like
All right.
him.
Okay, Peter Steele.
He's
And
scary.
then the show at CB's, the Reindeer Brains.
The reindeer brains.
That episode's got a lot of one of my highest listened to episode because of the Reindeer Brains story. Because as it was told before, he showed up with a white bucket of reindeer brains and threw these bloody guts out in the crowd. Holly and I, once again, another Holly Lane story, we lost it. We were laughing so hard because people were like ducking and brains, and he's got blood dripping all over his hands. And hey, it's gifts. It's a Christmas present. Look, it was right before Christmas. What a twisted dude he was.
Oh, yeah.
You were sad when he passed, weren't you?
I was.
He's one of your favorites?
He is, yes. He
Did-
saw music in a way nobody else did.
Were you a bigger Typo fan or a Carnivore fan?
Typo negative.
Typo. Because I never, they actually they became pretty big.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so. Not huge, but very
And
successful.
and he posed in Playgirl magazine. Do you have that issue at home?
August 1995.
So what were his best features once he removed all his clothing?
Actually, I didn't care for those pictures. They're really
Oh, you're honest.
they're fake.
They're-
They really just dressed him up and made him up to the point where he was not himself.
Did you find it silly that Peter Steele posed in Playgirl magazine?
I thought it was a good business move.
I'll tell you, women love him.
Women love him.
Everywhere I go, Peter Steele is like a sex god.
A sex god, yes, but he was a really nice, polite person.
He's probably a sex god to some men too. So we don't
Oh,
wanna
he
keep-
wrote a song about it. Like, it's called "I Like Girls." So, because
But
there were
the
so many
men
dudes
were
hitting on
trying
him
to-
that he was like, "No, thank you."
Yeah. No, I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not going to tell you a story about when I got hit on recently by a man. Which women don't notice me anymore, but now the men are like.
Wait, why don't they notice you anymore? Because you're an older person?
Probably because all the good women that I like are all taken now, so they're all married and have boyfriends and they're gone. I just don't pay attention. But men, for some reason, like this guy hit on me and it totally caught me by surprise. I was like,
Where
well,
were you?
I was driving this guy.
Oh, he was a passenger.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm not going to tell you what he said to me.
Why? Is it embarrassing?
No, we're going to switch the topic to another one of your favorites who I know you've met and hung out with, Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins. Another controversial man.
Yeah, he's not really a metal dude, but he's about as heavy as it gets. I mean,
He's
Black
pretty
Flag,
metal.
Wartime was kind of a metal band, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, Black Flag, My War was metal. Yeah. So, how'd you meet Henry, and how did you end up hanging out with him?
Oh, we didn't really hang out. I just met him after a show, and I told him that he had inspired me. I had been asked to do some speeches, I guess, go on a little mini talking tour about domestic violence. And I thought, well, if Rollins can do it, I can fucking do it. So I went up to him and said, listen, they asked me to do this, and I'm going to do it thanks to you, so fucking thank you.
Wow, he must have liked that.
He did. He's like, fuck yeah, you can.
He's a very open-minded person when it comes to issues. He'll talk about any issue. Were you a Black Flag fan?
No, I was more of a Rollins solo band fan.
The Rollins band Lifetime. Was that Wartime or Rollins? Okay, here we go again with the memory loss. But all his projects were always good. I interviewed him one time.
You did?
Yes, I did. And I brought up Black Flag in the interview. He did not like that.
Why?
I said, do you think there's any chance that Black Flag will ever get back together, meeting with him and the band? And he's like, not unless John Lennon comes out of his grave. It's an industrial metal interview. It's right there. I'm not making that up. That's exactly what he said. Of course, Black Flag, there's two versions of the band touring right now. He's in neither one of them. Flag and Black Flag. Greg's doing Black Flag with three other guys. And then Keith Morris and Chuck Dukowski. And they're doing their own version of the band. So
Oh, just like
they're
Queensryche.
good though. Oh yeah, that was really. My friend Debbie is a big Queensryche fan, and she knows those guys, and she was very disturbed with the two versions of Queen. I don't like when that happens.
No.
It seems to happen a lot. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to another topic here. Oh, I love this topic. Ready? Fate's Warning. You love Fate's Warning.
Love Fate's Warning.
Do you love Fate's Warning more than you love Dream Theater?
Oh. I would say my love is equal. Can't pick.
Oh, she's so cool about this. She doesn't want to upset anyone. They're all on equal terms. Well, as you know, I work for Metal Blade. I know those guys. Perfect Symmetry record.
Yeah.
Worked on that one. That
Yeah,
was
your name's in the credits?
yeah. I was really happy I got thanked by them. And they're really, really good guys. Jim Matheos is one of the nicest guys.
Oh, he makes me sick. He's
But,
a fantastic player.
Here's the question that I have for you in regards to Fate's Warning. I know you've met those guys and hung out with them too, but John Arch or Ray Alder?
Oh no, you can't.
I did. I did go there.
Oh my God.
I did go there.
Oh, you can't. I'm friends with John and he might see this.
And hear it. Why? You're gonna say Ray? See, I'm not picking. I love them both.
I love them both, but
The Arch Matheos record. Oh man, two of them.
oh yeah. Remember, and you were making fun of that album in the car.
What?
I used to play his first EP in the car when I would pick you up on the way to
I
the
love
Charms,
John
and you were
Arch
like,
show.
I'm John Arch. Wait a minute.
I was only doing that to tease you. I like John
That's not
Arch.
nice.
Now he's gonna kill me when he hears it. Thanks a lot. He went from being mad at you to being mad at me. Thanks a lot for doing that. I actually know Ray a lot better because when I worked with Fates Warning, Ray was the singer, you know?
Yeah.
Have you heard his solo record? Because I haven't.
What the Water Wants? Yes.
Good?
It's beautiful.
I gotta check it out.
You will like it.
Yeah, he's really good. He's one of the great Mexican-American
Yeah.
metal dudes, man. There's a few of them out there. Their heart and soul is in it, man. You know, Ray's a
Yeah.
good guy too. I used to love hanging out with those guys. You know,
Very
they were
nice
really
guys.
great guy. Connecticut boys.
Connecticut
You know?
band, right?
I never hung out with them in Connecticut, only in California. You know, and a few other tour dates here and there. But dates. Next band, okay. When I heard this band and got turned on by this band, I had to call you up and talk to you about them because I thought it was the greatest thing I ever heard. Draconian.
Draconian.
Swedish. You say they're doom metal.
They sound doom metal to me.
But they do, what do you call it when you have the woman singing melodically and the guy together? What is that?
I don't think it has a name.
Because I love that concept.
Yeah, me too.
The two together.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of the clean and the growling is I love it. It's beautiful.
Juxtaposition. Wow, I haven't used that word yet. That's good. I know exactly what it means, but I'm not going to pull out a dictionary. But so when I called you and told you to check them out, you had the same reaction I did. You were like, "How did we not know about this band?"
Yes.
Well kept secret.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever toured in America.
If they did, I'd like to see them. They're fucking fantastic.
Well, now they're back.
Now they're
You know,
back.
they got a new singer. I like the original singer, but I guess she went for a more domestic lifestyle and left the after several years because they formed like in 2004 or something. They've been around for
okay.
a while.
And they've missed me this long. That's
Yeah,
terrible.
they're like
That's
one of
tragic.
my favorite bands right now.
Yes.
Like
Thank you for that.
I'm. It's really weird. I'll listen to Draconian, then I'll listen to the Descendants, and neither one of the bands have anything in common whatsoever. But those are my two favorite bands right now, Draconian and the Descendants. Okay, now we're gonna bring up some crazy things. I don't really like to talk about this too much, but since Allison's here, I will. On one horrible night in Worcester,
January. It was so cold.
2002, 2003. There was a brawl and I got arrested at a show. It was a Twisted Rico versus Wormtown show. I brought 6 bands with me. They had 6 bands. There was a fight at the end of the night. I was drunk. I went out in the street. I got arrested, and Allison bailed me out the next day.
I wondered if this
Gave
was
me a
going to
ride
come
home.
up. Yeah.
And I was like really bummed out. Rosie
was
Huntress,
there,
and
too.
Devin Irish
And Devin were there.
were
yeah.
also. I'll never forget walking out at 6 in the morning, still drunk, and seeing those 3 looking at me like, "You asshole! Whoa, you asshole! You know, why did you get arrested? The walls are caving in on us."
Yeah, literally.
Herb almost got killed, and then we wouldn't have an engineer. That wouldn't have been any fun because I don't know how to work all that shit over there. But so you forgave me. Rosie, I think, was mad at me for a long time after that. But you know what the crazy thing was? When I got handcuffed, Pete Stone and everyone, "Yeah, that's our manager," and they're cheering me on. And here I am getting handcuffed and dragged away by the Worcester police, where I happen to live now, Worcester. You do not want to be in jail in Worcester. Not then, not now, not ever.
You were cold, as
Yeah,
I recall. You
yeah.
froze your ass in
Yeah,
that
they
cell.
didn't give you no blanket. Yeah, can I get a blanket? Fuck you. Get in that cell and shut up, you know? So I froze my you-know-what's off. But Thank you for bailing me out.
You're welcome.
Rosie will hear this and go, I bailed you out. She didn't bail you out.
Rosie technically had
She
the money.
did bail me. There was money involved?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever paid anyone back for that.
What do you think? They just let you go? You got to pay for that. We had to wait for the
That was
bail
a bad
officer.
boy.
There was 2 times the bail officer could have come. She didn't come the first time because, it's 3 in the morning and she's in bed. So we had to wait.
Okay, I feel bad that I brought this story up. Why did I bring this up? Now I feel bad. Change the subject. I got one more topic for you. Well, a couple, but this is the long list one. The Underground Garage Festival.
Oh gosh,
You
much
were there.
fun. Yeah.
And the Charms played along with 43 other bands, including the New York Dolls, the Stooges, Bo Diddley. I remember Bo Diddley because Joe Wisner couldn't stop talking about Bo Diddley.
Oh yeah, Nancy Sinatra. She stepped on my foot.
Nancy Sinatra stepped on your foot?
She apologized. Very nice.
Were you standing there when Bruce Springsteen went up to Kat?
Yes,
Kat was the
she
keyboard
was like,
player of the Charms.
Who's that guy?
He goes up to her and puts her arm around her and goes, you guys were great. And she pushed him away and she's like telling her, who is this guy? She's from Russia, She had no idea. It was in the Phoenix. It was the first paragraph of the book. Carly Carioli wrote the story and told that story how Kat blew off Bruce Springsteen. It actually made the Charms look kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it did.
Not a big fan of the E Street Band right here.
Oh.
But we won't talk about the guy that runs the Underground Garage. That's all I'm going to say about him. But that festival was fun, though.
A lot of fun.
We had a blast.
The sea of people who were there. Amazing.
Were you in the Charms trailer when the food incident happened? When Kat took all the food trays and threw them?
No. Oh my boy.
It was a rough day. People were fighting that day, but it was still one of the great days in Charms history. When they were on stage, it was like about 10,000 people there.
It was amazing to see.
They played in front of a lot of people. There was supposed to be a film that came out, but it never came out. You were on stage, though.
I was crouched behind a monitor.
Yeah, because you were kind of Joe's guitar tech, but
yeah.
You can't even tune a guitar, can you?
Yes, I can.
How many times did she drop the F-bomb? I just said that for jokes.
God.
I wanted to break Hank's record for the most F-bombs in one show. This is definitely going to be an 18-plus show. Thanks for that,
I can't
Allison.
tune a guitar.
Right.
Are you fucking listening to this guy?
I'm sorry.
No,
I was
you're
joking.
not.
It was a joke.
No, it wasn't.
You tuned Joe's guitars. I apologize.
And Ellie's.
And Ellie's. Wow. Boy, I'll never say that again. I am apologizing for that over and over again. So, before I ask you about your band that you got into, I think we're going to play a song right now by Dead Girls Don't Say No. It's the title track from their record, which we'll talk about because it was recorded at New Alliance in Cambridge.
It was.
The other New Alliance. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But, Herb, do you think you could possibly put Dead Girls Don't Say No? And everyone out there that doesn't know the band's like, did he just say Dead Girls Don't Say No? Is that what? Dead Girls Don't Say No? Name of the band, and we're going to find out how they got that name. But let's hear the track. Let's hear Allison singing. go. I wish we could have just had all that on tape rolling because that was a very interesting thing that just happened. But Dead Girls Don't Say No. Okay, Allison, I wore that shirt one time. I'll never forget this. And there was a women's march going on in Pittsburgh, and I didn't realize I had the Dead Girls Don't Say No shirt on, and someone noticed it, and she wasn't very nice to me.
I can imagine.
So, how did the band come up with the name? Why were they called Dead Girls Don't Say No? And how did they get a female singer? I know that's a lot of questions, but please help me out here.
Dead Girls, that name was in place before I joined the band. And as I understand it, it occurred as the result of a conversation between maybe the drummer and the guitar player about
Right.
this man in our metal scene at the time who was trying and failing over and over again to get female attention or get a date. And nobody would date him, so they postulated that he should maybe date a dead girl because she wouldn't say no.
Wow, you might have told me this before, and I might have forgotten it. But that is, was it hard being in the band?
Hard?
For you? I mean,
Oh,
did
well,
you feel?
no.
I mean, for the name, I know the band was great. I don't mean the music. I mean the name.
No,
Like when you
because
did interviews and things like that. Did it come up?
it came up. They were kind enough to. They had written a song called "Dead Girls Don't Say
Right.
No," but it had no lyrics.
Which we just heard.
Yes, and they were kind enough to give that song to me and say, "Here, this is yours. You
You
write
wrote
the
the
lyrics."
lyrics?
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry, I didn't know that.
I wrote the lyrics about a real situation where sometimes if women do say no, they do end up dead. It's a serious song about a serious situation. So if the protesters could take a moment to maybe listen to the song and see what I'm saying, maybe they would not be so angry.
I think I was in Pittsburgh and I didn't even know that you were in a band.
I'm
And then all of a sudden I
surprised.
saw it on Facebook or something and I called. Remember, I called you and said, "You're in a band?"
Yeah.
And it completely like caught me off guard. But then I actually had a little to do with you guys recording because didn't I hook you up with John Taft?
Yes, we were looking for a recording studio to record our first EP. Our first producer had died.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe Moody. We had nowhere to go until I asked you, "Hey, do you know of any recording studios?" And you suggested New Alliance in Cambridge.
Yes, the second New Alliance is where you're recording the record. Sounds great.
John
John, I
Taft.
don't know. John did all kinds of music, so I knew he could do it, but he really rose to the occasion.
He
I
did a
thought.
great job. We enjoyed working with him.
And the band dissolved not too long ago.
August 2018?
Yes. Well, it's been over a year,
Yeah.
2 years. Well, year and I don't know, something like that. But you are in a new band now, and this fascinates me. You're in a band called Mercury Plague, and you flew to LA and played the legendary whiskey on the Sunset Strip. How did that happen?
Our bass player got us 2 shows out there.
Wow.
He
What
knew
was
someone.
you must have been blown away.
I was
Sunset
blown
Strip.
away, absolutely. Like, Metallica played there and the Doors and
I was gonna say the Doors. I saw a lot of great shows there. In fact, the one most memorable show I remember seeing there was Mother Love Bone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was just. But I saw a lot of shows there. So did you guys hang out on the Strip and go to Rainbow or any of those places?
We did go to the Rainbow, yep.
How
Great
did you?
food.
How'd you? Was that your first time in LA?
Yes.
How
Well,
did-
I've been through LA briefly before, but not long enough to really see and enjoy the city. So my first time getting to actually experience the true Los Angeles and Hollywood.
Did you like it?
I liked
Were
it,
you
yeah.
ready to move there?
Fuck no.
I knew that you. I knew you were gonna say that because you told me that.
Absolutely
But
not.
it
No,
was.
it's nice to visit, but I couldn't handle living there.
It was. It's still fantastic that you guys got to play there. So what is going on with Mercury Plague? I mean, do you guys plan on recording? I mean, what are you gonna do with the new band?
Yeah, did have a recording session in February.
Oh,
So
you recorded.
yeah, yep.
So you didn't release anything
No,
yet, though.
not yet, not yet. My bass player is in other bands, and he's got a lot of other things going on. I have a lot of other things going on. They're in New Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah,
but you plan on coming up with some kind of a release.
yeah.
Good. Well, make sure you get me one of those tracks
Of
because
course.
we'll definitely play it
Of
on
course.
our show. Um, okay, what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually play another song, and then we're going to talk about a couple more things. Eviction, a band that I had signed to Metal Blade in 1989. People have been trying to get them to do a reunion show forever because they haven't played in years, and now they've agreed to do a reunion show, and they're going to play in Pittsburgh, their hometown. And we're going to play the track "Wake Up" because I just talked to Robbie Tabachka, the guitar player, yesterday, one of the guitar players, and he's all excited that they're getting back, and I love those guys. So this is Eviction "Wake Up," which will be released. They have a new deal now. They're re-releasing a bunch of their old stuff, and they're going to do a show that coincide with all of this. So here's Eviction.
Todd, get your lazy ass out of bed!
I don't wanna wake up. I don't wanna do nothing. I just wanna sleep my fucking life away. I don't give a shit about what happens, where it happens, when it happens. It don't mean dick to me. Yeah, my opinion doesn't mean nothing. Yeah, I don't give a shit. No way. Just let me sleep.
Wake up! Something new in face. Why do you ignore? Something say in a disgrace. Why do you deplore? You're too dense to make it work. Why don't you take it? Everything changed for the worse. Guess you'll have to fake it. Wake up, I'm making right. Wake up, you're the one you need. Wake up, and there you. Wake up, be more true. Something new in the face. Why do you ignore? Something say in disgrace. You know the floor. You're too dense to make it work. Why don't you take it? You have been changed for the worse. Guess you'll have to fake it. Sitting on your ass, hoping it will last. Make up your mind while you still have the time. Lay there in bed, dream of brand up to your head. Wake up, and make it right. Wake up, and what you need. Wake up, and never you. Wake up, be more you. Something new in the face. Why do you ignore? Something say in disgrace. You know who's the floor. You're too dense to make it work. Why don't you take it? Nothing changes for the worse. Guess you'll have to break it. Wake up!
All right, that was Eviction. And did you like that track, Allison?
Bitchin'.
Todd, we're having a lot of fun behind the scenes here. You don't want to know what we're doing. It's all going to be like, Anyways, I just wanted to throw that on there now. There is one more topic here, and Allison's still with us, so this is a hard one for me to talk about. I wasn't the hugest fan in the world of the band, but I have the utmost respect for them. Just found out last night that Neil Peart, the drummer of Rush, passed away. Regarded as one of the greatest drummers in the world. And the thing that makes him so special is that he wrote all the lyrics of all the Rush songs, which is like unbelievable. And he's a cool guy. If you've never seen the video of them at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the acceptance speech, you gotta watch it. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Alex Lifeson actually stole the show, but they were all good. Neil Peart, very funny guy, and big dude. Very sorry to see him go. Were you a Rush fan, Allison?
They kind of missed me So I liked them kind of in the background. They used to play at the roller skating rink when I was a kid, but it just kind of went over my head.
It's funny though because I think some of your bands that you love, like Dream Theater and Fates Warning, would probably say they were influenced
Absolutely.
by Rush.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, that's the reason I started paying attention to Rush when I figured out that Dream Theater was influenced by them so
Yeah.
heavily.
And their early stuff. I mean, they did get a little, Tom Sawyer and that stuff. I didn't really dig it, but the early recordings, fantastic. So we just had to mention that because, as you would expect, the reaction around the world was enormous, as it is when many rock stars pass away. But there was something about Neil Peart that people really liked. As a matter of fact, as we end the show here, I want to. I got a lyric here that Neil wrote that I wanted to read because it's. I don't. There's something about this song that meant something to me deeply. If you know me, you probably figure it out. But the paragraph went something like this. It's this from the song Lakeside Park. Everyone would gather on the 24th of May, sitting in the sand to watch the fireworks display, dancing fires on the beach, singing songs together. Though it's just a memory, some memories last forever. The
That's
great Neil
beautiful.
Peart. Thank you, Allison,
Thank
for
you.
coming, and thank you all for listening and making this show a lifelong dream fulfillment for me. Every time I get to come here and record, it makes me happy. So until the next time we say goodbye, this is Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico. I'm your host, Steve Ricardo, and let's keep the rock and roll alive. Peace out.